Oh, there we go. This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Andrew.
And it's the end of 2022, at least for us. This is our last show of the year.
Dang.
There was huge lag between you saying that and me hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it my internet or is it?
It's very possible it's us. Are you guys getting the storm as well?
Right away.
Huh? You heard him right away?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Maybe it's my internet. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to do some year-end discussion and predictions for 2023. And Andrew is going to say things that we're all going to hate.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll go with it anyways. Anyways, if you guys are watching on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, make sure you follow on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and follow on Twitter. All those good things. And in the meantime, if you're on Facebook or Twitter, I'm just going to let you guys know right now, those are cesspools, okay? So is YouTube, but at least YouTube is where we're monetized. So there's that. We don't make money on Twitter or Facebook. And if y'all are feeling really special and you want to buy something that's flavored like coffee, go to coffee.
Flavored like coffee. It's not like coffee.
It is coffee.
We can't say it's
coffeebrandcoffee.com. Code CHRILLCAST, and you'll save 5%. And you'll also donate at least $1 to us. So there's that. Coffee Brand Coffee. That's good stuff. All right. That's the worst slogan I could have come up with. That's good stuff. All right. Anyways.
I mean, you do like the coffee, so
I do. I bought at least one bag, at least, and it was good.
At least he has sampled the coffee.
I have tried it. It was delicious. It was delicious. It was delicious and not suspicious. All right.
You just eat it directly from the bag. That's the only way to truly test it.
Eat the beans.
Just took a spoonful.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so as far as the big three, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, who do you think did the best this year?
Not Xbox.
Okay.
The best. This is a weird year for all of them.
Super weird.
Because they all had actually first-party games come out. Nintendo had quite a few actually. Sony had a couple really good ones, but only like a couple.
I'm gonna say Sony.
For God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn.
I think they had two really big titles come out. I think they've at least been constantly selling their PS5. It was hard as heck to get it for the longest time.
Chris.
But yeah, no, it's I would say Sony probably. The only thing that makes me like hesitant to give it to Sony is the fact that they maybe haven't done a good enough job of selling the PS5 as a necessary upgrade.
Yeah.
Given the fact that the support is across both of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I still think that the PS4 is a better deal at the moment. We'll see what next year brings when we do our predictions. I would say probably I would go with Nintendo. They had a lot of games come out that sold super well. It's still selling like hotcakes, which I don't totally understand.
Well, it has hit market saturation at this point.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The Nintendo Switch is basically at or near market saturation. The most people that are buying new Switches at this point are probably the people buying an additional Nintendo Switch, or like they broke theirs, they need a new one, or they are upgrading. Like there's very few people that are getting into the Switch at this point as a brand new console owner.
It's also, I mean, if we're honest too, it's hard to really. Maybe this makes them a winner. My point is about to make them a winner in a sense, but like Nintendo is not viewed as a sole console for ownership. It's just not. It's viewed as Nintendo and something else, in my opinion.
That is kind of a win.
Right. That's a win. They're just viewed as like the default second console.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're not going to be your primary console usually, unless you really, 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 really love Nintendo games and don't want to play any of the AAA third-party titles or first party titles that the Sony or Microsoft come out with. But I mean, I guess it is a win, right? Because they're cheap enough, and nostalgia enough
It's
for everybody.
technically like you would call that a what's the word? No. It's in the realm of a put it in the cart and buy it. What the heck is that called? Impulse buy. The Nintendo Switch is in the range of money that is still an impulse buy.
Yeah.
Whereas like when
it
you're
is.
buying an Xbox or a PS5,
I mean, the
you
Series
can't
S
just
is cheaper.
you're probably not
Yeah.
impulsively buying an Xbox.
I mean, the
Series
price
X
is
or a
very
PS5.
stomachable as an
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially the used market. The used Switch
Mhm.
market is extremely reasonable.
Especially for parents buying a console for their kids, younger kids in particular. It's a very, like, you can easily stomach that price point and not feel like you've cheaped out because it's still Nintendo.
Right.
So, I mean, it's different than if you buy the cheap version of the Xbox or even the Sony one without the disc drive. Feels kind of like,
But if you want the Kinect sensor, no.
I mean, by number of Pokemon games, obviously the Switch wins this year. They've released like 30 of them.
A usable impulse buy versus a large investment paperweight.
I mean,
I guess it depends on how much you use your Nintendo Switch versus your console, like home console. Like for me, home consoles are kind of useless because I my time to use the TV all by myself is limited. Whereas I can always just whip out a console and play a Switch or a
I would just
Steam Deck.
say though too that it does take that mobile, the handheld market that kind of dipped out, right? And now it's kind of merged the feel. So it's created a market of its own. So I guess I could go with what Will says and say Nintendo's the winner, because as long as Nintendo stays down this path that they've blazed with the Switch, I think they'll just always be that impulse buy, that guaranteed second console that people will purchase no matter what, because it's just an easy pickup.
It's still screwy though, because the Xbox had the most profitable year it's ever had, even though it released like only indie games this year.
Yeah.
So because of Game Pass, so it's just a weird year for all three.
Right.
Shout out to
It's like the
Demicro
end of the
though.
year.
Look at this sad story. So excited to finally get my hands on my Steam Deck on Christmas because my parents decided to keep it until then, even though they know I paid for it. Like that sucks.
I mean, yeah.
If I paid for it, I'd be pissed.
If I paid for it,
unless they're gonna
like,
pay you back, then
that becomes an early Christmas present at that point.
I mean, I'm waiting for my PS4 that I bought, so I'm looking at the wrapped box right now. It's pissing me off a little bit.
That's a marriage present. Well, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, to myself, from myself.
Those presents are okay when you're a married couple because then you're getting what you want.
Mm.
Do you think that the Steam Deck is going to take away from Nintendo?
They're not competing, because if you buy Nintendo, you're buying it for Nintendo IP.
Yep.
And the family aspect. If you're buying a Steam Deck, you're basically buying a portable computer, and you're a totally different market.
Fair, but like, there's a lot of people who want a handheld console to play certain games that they.
Okay, but if you want a
handheld.
Nintendo and you want to play Nintendo games, you're not buying a Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think there is that group of people who might actually exist who buy the Nintendo because it's the only portable game system that's like worth buying.
I don't think that market, like, I thought that market existed, but I don't think it really does anymore. Like, the market that would have bought this, like, it's going to chew into like a PlayStation portable market. It's not chewing into like a Nintendo market.
The market doesn't exist anymore, Chris.
That's what I'm saying. The people that were into the PlayStation are probably the people buying a Steam Deck, and also the people who want portable computers. I think that the market that was buying a Vita that went to the Switch, those guys might switch over to the Steam Deck, but I think that market's very small. I mean, the amount of Vita owners that existed out there were only about between 13 and 15 million. So I don't think that's a very big market compared to
what about that? What is it? That thing that attaches to the phones?
Oh, the backbone.
Backbone, yeah. Do you
think that's a different market too?
You don't think that that's going to start selling much better? No. I'm really.
I've had the phone attachments for years for different things, and like I only use that for remote playing my other consoles. I don't
But
use
like,
it
if it's
for.
actually good, you don't think
It's not.
that's going to? If
It's
they
okay.
can make it good, if they can make it good, it's early days. You don't see that
No.
as like going towards the future.
They've been trying to
where
make
that's going.
they've been trying to make mobile phones the Switch for years, and they've failed. And then the Switch comes out and it sells 120 million consoles. No, there's no way. Like the Switch sells because it has Nintendo products on it,
That's
and
true.
because it's convenient.
I'm not talking about it stealing market share right now. I'm literally just speaking of how successful do you think that company will be?
I think Backbone is successful on their own because you've got enough mobile players that like it. Like for example, if you had a phone and you didn't have a Switch, like that's the market for that.
Well, okay. At what point? This is where I'm curious to see the market move, because it's almost as if I could see Microsoft going this way with how they're going towards Game Pass, and they kind of have tried to make moves into the mobile gaming market where taking advantage of the cell phone that everyone already owns to try to make that a Game
They've been
Pass
trying
device.
that for years.
I
Like,
know,
nobody's been
but
successful at it yet.
yeah, but okay, you don't see something like the Backbone be like.
No, because they had before the Backbone, there was a much better product. Let me take that back. A much better earlier product that would have been just like the Backbone, and it did okay. It sold a lot. There was a lot of hubbub about it back in like 2012, and it attached in the exact same way. It took advantage of MFi, or I think at the time it took advantage of whatever port they were using.
As soon as Microsoft actually gets his Activision deal go through, they'll just have Game Pass for your phone. And it's going to be Call of Duty Mobile.
Well, Ubisoft.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Call of Duty Mobile was one of the most successful games.
Ubisoft, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but that's a different market.
No, but that's the same market as the Backbone.
Yes, that is the same market as the Backbone.
But
the Backbone is not exclusively PlayStation. You know that, right? There's an Xbox brand one, a PlayStation
that's
brand
what
one.
I'm literally talking about it as a company going towards both consoles, and I'm saying the one geared towards Microsoft, I think, has way more potential to be focused on. I can honestly see Microsoft focusing the cloud gaming on that hard.
Yep.
The thing that, okay, Chris, I understand what you're saying about past performance, but then again, you're also gearing that towards like the millennial market at the time. I think Gen Z and the general move towards big as shit phones, the phablet basically is.
I haven't heard that term since the original Note came out.
Yeah, well, I still think it's a stupid phablet. I hate the big phone. Do you see the market shifting to go back towards smaller cell phones?
It will eventually.
Maybe. I don't see it.
I think what you're going to see, Andrew, is you'll see people who want small phones will just have this.
It's not good enough yet. That's why I have an
It's
iPhone
not.
mini.
It's not. You're 100% correct. But people will have a watch and a tablet, and they won't have phones anymore.
Yeah, that's where the market should theoretically go, especially with the wireless headphones now being such a big component. But I guess with Gen Z and the big screen cell phone.
Let's just focus on 2023, Andrew. Do you think that cloud gaming will be bigger in 2023 or big enough to capture some market share versus where it's at right now, which is basically dead with Stadia and Luna, whatever Amazon made?
Stadia is garbage.
Stadia is dead.
Luna is just Luna.
Luna's awful.
Why are you ignoring Game Pass?
Because
Microsoft just put all the chips on black on that.
The bulk of Game Pass people are still console and PC players. They're not cloud players yet.
Okay.
It's going to be bigger next year, though.
Yes.
So you're seeing you're seeing just their initial. They haven't acquired Activision.
I did see them marketing this piece of garbage.
Yeah, they're also going to get Game Pass on the Switch next year or the year after.
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're already making deals with Activision on Nintendo. There's no way that's not going to happen.
I think you'll see more Xbox Live.
Nintendo needs to find a way to get better quality AAA titles on it without having to worry about the tech on the device being powerful enough.
And the xCloud will do that for them. But I'm actually thinking that through this Activision deal, they're going to end up like PlayStation's being a little bitch about it, but they're going to end up screwing them on this. And there might be a case for Game Pass being on PlayStation, but also on the VR. Imagine having Game Pass on the VR.
Y'all got phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I'm not a fan of the route Microsoft is going, but I could easily see them just killing the Xbox as like an actual thing.
Well, they were looking into doing it, but it became too expensive. They were trying to just have a streaming stick.
Yeah, they wanted to have like the Fire Stick for like Xbox, and it was. I think they said the product would have been around $200. It's like, why not just get an Xbox Series S at that point?
Yeah, well, they've postponed it because it's too expensive to make.
What you would really need is like a $100, impulse buy device you can plug in your TV.
Yeah, which give it a year and they might have it.
I think you're more likely to see them create apps for existing things like the Apple TV.
Well, they already have the TV coming out with it. What is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'll see like things prepackaged with it.
No, but that's okay. But what I'm trying to say is I see Microsoft getting out of the actual console business.
No, not yet.
There's not going to be a next. This is the last Xbox you will ever see.
They've been saying that since the 360.
No, this is literally the last Xbox you will see. I am willing to bet money on this one.
No, I bet we'll get a revision of this console.
Okay, this is the last Xbox
generation.
Xbox. This generation is the last Xbox. I see the next one either being folded under the Surface tag.
I think the Xbox brand will still exist.
No.
I mean, we've talked about this before.
Do you think they'll give up on disc completely? Because then it won't double as a Blu-ray player, and it also won't. You won't be able to play your old games on it anymore, which is something they pushed very heavily into.
But let's be honest, they're getting rid of that with game, and they're just going to have all the games on Game Pass.
I think they'll still sell games.
If they gave all of the backwards titles for free without Game Pass, then I can see that happening.
Andrew, you're fighting us on this, but I think you're forgetting there is a large amount of Xbox loyalty in the previous generation of people, and the people that are buying the consoles are continuing to buy the consoles despite there being zero new media for them.
It doesn't have to be called an Xbox. They can literally just say
You're saying
Xbox
they should divorce their brand.
Yes,
that
they
is
can.
Their gaming brand. They're
It's
not going to do it.
Microsoft. Xbox is just as much Microsoft as anything else. Let's be honest.
I don't think they're going to go that route. So they're not going to get rid of the brand name because they just changed their gaming studios to Xbox Gaming Studios.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. Yeah, you're 100% accurate.
They changed it from Microsoft Gaming Studios.
I just don't see. I see their focus being purely on streaming.
No, I don't. As long as Will's alive, the Xbox brand will exist. Microsoft would never do it to their biggest fan. Okay, Andrew, let's stop the cloud thing. I think you're wrong. You think you're right. That's fine. We agree to disagree. I think cloud is probably will always be around, just like how PSVR is always the small niche of PlayStation.
I'm not a fan of cloud gaming.
Can I finish?
I'm not either.
You're interrupting me right in the middle of my thought here. Just like PSVR only is about 5 to 10% of the entire PlayStation market, I think that the cloud gaming will continue to be about 5 to 10% at most right now. With the internet being as unstable as it is, and me finding out how unstable it is as of last night, I don't think the internet is good enough across the country for Xbox to dip out of the console market.
This is the same company that tried to make it where you were required to be always connected online to play.
Yeah, but that failed so quick.
Yeah, it failed, but that's still a company that wants to move in this direction. That's their vibe.
They've already got their DRM solution, Game Pass. If you don't pay for Game Pass, you lose your DRM.
Okay, but Game Pass is still cloud gaming.
No, it's not.
Basically,
you don't know what you're talking about now at this point. Game Pass is not cloud gaming at all.
You can download all those games, man.
Yeah, you can download them, but you're still going to the internet for your game.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference between streaming the whole game and having it downloaded and it just
fine. But they're going to make it basically the Netflix of gaming. You're not going to be getting your discs.
You're not going to get
discs.
You're like forgetting the hardcore Xbox crowd is your FPS shooters. You'll never see an FPS shooter pro on a dang cloud gaming thing ever. It'll never happen.
Yeah, my main point is they're going all digital. You're not going to have discs. Xbox is going to kill
Yeah,
the
well,
disc.
if that's true, this is the last generation I buy because I like having my discs and I like
They're going
playing my
to
old
kill.
games.
They're going to kill the disc, and they're
Dude,
going
you're
to
saying
make
that
everything.
no, you need to stop. You're saying this as PlayStation is releasing a new console that will only be disc drive. Like PlayStation
Why do I care? Why do I care when I'm making a prediction about Microsoft killing the disc because
They
they have
won't.
Game Pass?
They won't. They'd be stupid. They can. Here's the thing: there's enough gamers out there that pay for Game Pass and discs that it makes sense to still produce discs because you're making the money twice. People like me were paying for Game Pass and still buying discs because I'm an idiot. Okay, those people
But
exist.
the thing is, I also use my Xbox as my Blu-ray player, so I need that. I still watch physical media.
Microsoft has wanted to get rid of the disc.
I don't
get
disagree
rid
with
of
you.
the
They're
connection to
definitely
the-
going to eventually move to that. I don't think that they're going to make that move. They're not going to have a strong move on the next generation. They're probably going to heavily market, like the biggest one will be all digital.
Yeah, I
But
think
I'd be
Microsoft's
really
going to do it.
surprised if there isn't something with a disc drive still.
I think that Microsoft will do what Sony's doing, and if they do release an all digital console next gen, they'll have some kind of attachment for backwards compatibility. That way, they can still sell it.
There you go.
maybe the initial one, but like I don't know how long. How long do we have until the next console comes out?
Supported. Look, Microsoft supported the dead Kinect platform through the entire Xbox One product line.
Chris,
There's no way they release this and it's not compatible.
Chris,
throughout
how
the
many
entire
years do we
generation.
have until the next consoles come out? Let's just
it'll
look at this
probably be-
objectively.
It will probably be at least 2026.
Yeah,
Maybe 2027.
yeah.
I'm not sure it'll be
2028
that
at the
far.
latest. It could
I
be
just want to point out
2028.
that that's quite a long ways away still.
Yeah, and physical media is still the thing is when you want to launch a blockbuster game, dropping it on Game Pass doesn't do it. You'll get high player numbers. Like look at Halo Infinite. It was kicking some ass when it first launched. Now it's like
it's just hard to see them not going down the route of how everyone's going to subscription models. Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the wheels for Microsoft are just so hard in motion down this route that their entire thought process is being the Netflix of video games.
Well, they're making money hand over fist, so I don't see why they wouldn't. But
they're
again,
not going to stop.
at least
true.
I think as long as Phil Spencer is the head of Xbox, they won't go this route. Like completely, they won't completely commit because even though there was like a very little demand for it, he's the reason why we have backwards compatibility, and you don't have to be online for that, and you don't have to have Game Pass for that. So that was just a free add-on. So it would just be weird to me if like that same mindset, which is very pro gamer, that goes to something where it's only about profits and doesn't at least have the semblance of being for the gamer at the same time.
We could easily see them do what Sony did with the PS3.
Andrew, the fact that I think
backwards compatible, the later editions won't be.
Xbox was initially not friendly to limited run games at all. And this generation now, limited run games is producing physical Xbox games. I think that says a lot about where Xbox is with physical media.
I'm just saying that if you have to be concerned about any of these companies going digital only, it is 100% Microsoft with the Xbox.
4DS.
I wonder though if PlayStation would actually do it first and pull an audible on this.
No,
I think the if PlayStation was going to release a new portable device at all ever, it would be digital only.
I mean, haven't they done that already?
No, they had PSP Go technically wasn't all digital, but that was the wrong time to release that. The internet wasn't even strong enough to support it.
They have it on their minds too.
Sony's never going to do another mobile gaming device.
Probably not.
They've already basically said that.
I could see them launching like a PSP service for phones or like a PS Vita service for phones or something like along those lines where you get the portable games on your phone with the backbone controller. I could see something like that happening.
Maybe.
Because they have the remote play already. You got remote play on PS5 and PS4 with your phone. That's a free app.
Here's a question. Do you guys foresee anyone else trying to get into the console market?
It's the largest entertainment sector of the economy now. So of course, more and more players will try to get into it.
Yes.
Well, you still haven't figured out this digital game situation on your Switch?
No, and I'm pissed about it.
Have you cleared it entirely?
Yes, I have deleted it entirely multiple times and tried to redownload it.
What game is it?
South Park.
Next time I see you, bring it, and we'll clear it out. We'll get it clean.
Yeah,
we'll clean it for you. That sounded weird.
Yeah. I mean, okay, yes, it's the biggest entertainment market.
Okay, so Andrew,
do you guys see a serious player?
Can we finish our Xbox prediction? Let's finish our Xbox predictions, and then we'll move on to Nintendo. Okay, so you're saying you think cloud gaming will play a bigger portion. I think it'll
not just. I'm not okay. When I say cloud gaming, I'm literally saying that, but mostly everything associated with
Game Pass.
Game Pass, which yes, you can download it. I still view that as everything is coming from the cloud. Just because you can download it, that doesn't make it any different, really.
Xbox's strategy is Game Pass.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
I think that they should be about 30 or 35 million subscribers at the moment. So I think they'll probably, because they already said that they're hitting sort of their market saturation.
I think the amount of people willing to pay for a subscription to Game Pass will increase over time, but they are saturated with the current market.
They are looking into an ad model, so that might free up some more people to actually get into it. But like I said, I'm telling you, it's going to be on the Switch or like on whatever Nintendo's next platform is next year or the year after.
I don't think Game Pass will come to Nintendo.
It absolutely is going to be.
I'm with Will. I think they're going to try to put it on anything that can even closely support it.
And they'll stream. That's how they're going to do it. They're going to stream right to the console.
Yeah.
If they were going to do that, though, they put it on the Steam Deck, and they still haven't actually officially put it on the Steam Deck.
Well, they might put it on the Steam Deck. I'm not. We're talking about the consoles.
Everything.
See, I do like some major workarounds to get it to work on Steam Deck.
They'll put it on anything.
Also, to be fair, they tried to sign the Activision deal with Steam too, but Steam's like, we trust you, Xbox, which is a really weird response. But they might be putting that on the Steam Deck too. I mean, why wouldn't they?
They should. I think
it's probably a win-win for both of them. Like, even if Steam's only making a couple extra dollars, like, why wouldn't you do that?
Well, I mean, they have EA Play is available through the Steam platform, so like EA's already partnered up with them.
When they put it on the Switch, though, it's going to be a red X. Just watch. It's going to be, instead of like the green and the white X or whatever, it's going to be red.
I think what you'll see is not full-blown Game Pass on Switch. I think what you'll see is that games that you get through Xbox on the Nintendo Switch, they'll do revenue share and you'll get access to some of those games on the Switch. I don't think it'll be full-blown Game Pass.
I don't think it'll be all of it. It's just like how there's a PC one and a console version. There's going to be the phone version.
But they might expand
the Switch version.
They might expand the Play Anywhere from, and I think you're more likely to see Play Anywhere go on Nintendo. So if you pay an extra $10, get the Play Anywhere, so you get Minecraft on the PC, the Xbox, and the Switch. I think that's more likely what you'll see.
Yeah, but you'll have that. They probably will merge GoldenEye because it's going to be on both platforms.
That's an expectation that I don't think is too far out. I think that could probably happen.
Then Banjo and Kazooie is on both platforms.
I could see crossplay with like Cuphead, Minecraft,
Ori,
Banjo, Ori. Maybe I don't think there's co-op though.
There's no, but I can see that like game sharing or whatever.
Well, they already have achievements on the Switch through Xbox.
So I'm telling you, man, it's happening.
Anyways, so I think cloud will increase a little bit. Like you might get to like maybe 5 to 10% of Xbox players use the cloud. I think Game Pass is close to 60 to 70% right now.
Yeah, I think. But what I'm saying is, I think you need to combine cloud with Game Pass because I think that is always going to be an extremely fluid relationship.
No.
Yes. I think that's going to be an extremely fluid relationship as long as the technology gets more and more like capable of actually streaming higher quality games. I think you're going to see Game Pass be more and more like Netflix. You can download movies off of Netflix.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Prime too.
Yeah, you
here's
can download, but you don't need to download as long as you have the internet connection.
Okay, but Andrew, the main difference between streaming video and streaming games is there's no input required for me to enjoy a movie.
I agree. I'm just making the point.
To be
Chris,
fair,
that
the xCloud on the console works super freaking well.
I believe it.
I played Forza on that. Oh man.
I'm just saying that as the technology makes it more and more capable, there is no difference between cloud gaming and Game Pass. It's going to be the same service. They're just going to expand the capabilities of Game Pass to include more and more cloud gaming. That's all I'm saying. Like you can't look at those as separate markets.
Yeah,
I just don't think you can, because they fill the same void. They're going to be geared towards the same person.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't even think they call it xCloud anymore. I think it is just Game Pass.
Yeah,
it's Game Pass like streaming or something. I don't know, but regardless, I think that those markets are different. They're just bundled in the same service.
They will be, yes, but you're like, I'm not saying they're going to get rid of the ability to download the game. You're just going to slowly recognize that you don't need to download it as they expand its capability. And eventually people are just going to realize that, oh, I just clicked play this game. I didn't have to download it. It's going to have to be a thing that you choose to do eventually. That's how this is going to go. You're going to be a frog in boiling water. All right. The temperature is going to slowly get hotter and hotter on the fact that you're just cloud streaming these games.
Can you play Game Pass games off the internet?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
I don't have.
Oh no. You mean can you cloud stream without internet?
No. I'm talking about like you brought up Netflix. You download Netflix movies because then you don't have to watch it on your cell phone service. You can just watch it on your phone. So I'm asking like the Game Pass.
For a certain number of days after the last DRM check, you can play a Game Pass game offline.
Okay.
I think you get up to like 7 days without verifying again on your home console. On your bonus consoles, you have to verify right away.
This comment is cloud gaming is so frowned upon. I don't see it happening for the next 5 years at least. Here's the thing. You're not going to see it happening. They're just going to do it.
It's already happened.
It already started. The whole rollout of Game Pass has already started the thing where you're just not going to realize that you're not downloading the games. They're just going to make it.
Let me tell you a secret, Andrew.
As long as you don't recognize performance issues, you're not going to. People are just not going to.
Especially with the price increase in Xbox games.
Exactly.
I will tell you a secret, Andrew.
What?
I don't like Game Pass.
I don't like it either. Okay, I don't have it for a reason.
It doesn't matter. 25 million other people disagree with you. Also, by the way, I don't have it right now either.
Anyways, let's move on from Xbox. Clearly, Andrew has a hard-on for cloud gaming.
No. You're acting like I like this concept.
I'm joking, Andrew, because you're like the only one defending it. Anyways, I think from a business standpoint, they're working on it. Oh, you muted him.
I did. Oh man.
Okay, Nintendo. Let's move on to Nintendo. New Switch or no new Switch this year?
Announced, doesn't come out till the following year.
Yeah.
It's
been out for how long now?
Listen, I don't think the Switch is done yet. I think you're gonna see like a Switch XL this year.
No. I fully object. I think they announced the next one.
Yeah,
I don't know because the games are still selling like crazy.
No,
like despite but Nintendo doesn't care about the console. They just want to sell games.
No,
they have to be hitting their threshold of what the games can do though, because
they are. They can't. They're struggling with third-party games. That's the problem.
You're not wrong. The only Xbox Live Gold user. Because everybody else has Game Pass.
But Chris, the problem comes down that they are struggling with third-party titles.
Yeah, but you're right about that. They are struggling, and they have a saturated market. I just don't know if they have the supply chain and production set up for a new Switch yet.
That's why I'm saying it's announced this year. does not come out until next year or maybe later. But it's
the only way
announced.
that they announce it next year is if they. I think it'll be 2024. I think it'll be March 2024, and it'll be like announced in January, released in March.
I think they will for sure. If they don't publicly announce it, they for sure will have a design and a plan for the next Switch this year. This upcoming year, they will.
I was gonna say 2022.
No, 2023. They will have
10 days left.
They will have that, and they will just be waiting on that announcement until they think the moment is right. But it will already exist. The plan to manufacture and ship that console will already be in place. They just have to figure out when they want to pull the trigger.
Will it be backwards compatible with current Switch cartridges? I think it has
Yes.
to. I think it has to.
I don't think they changed that at all. There's no reason to. Also, they're so conveniently designed. I think they're honestly a great
I think there's
media.
a chance that they might introduce a new media, but just have multiple ability to, because the Switch is limited on space on those cards. I think the biggest card they sell is 64 gigs. So like any game that's larger than that, and those are really expensive to produce. I could see them going the route of having a bigger piece of media in there and or a more convenient media on the next Switch, but also still having like, for example, when you went from DS to 3DS, they had the same cartridge but different technology inside of it. They might do something like that.
I don't see them moving away from cartridges, though.
No, it'll be a similar style that can be read both ways.
Maybe
It's
just
like
like a bigger
one.
one.
Yeah, like bigger storage, cheaper to produce. That's what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with a mobile console, I feel like you need a cartridge. It's so much more durable than anything
Well, it won't
that
be a
requires
disc.
moving parts.
Also,
I
like
know, that's what I'm
that
saying.
technology is just clearly better than discs because you can play games right off of them. They actually they contain the actual game, which is nice, and they load so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
I think Microsoft's going to buy Sega and make Dream Pass. No, I'm just kidding. Dreamcast, Dream Pass.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sorry. Okay, no, I think Nintendo will probably have something new in the next 2 years. I think for sure. I just don't know if they'll announce it in 2023, especially if they still have some big games ready to come out.
I think you're right.
It would hurt the hype train.
But would you agree that they have the design? They have everything ready next year.
I think if they announce something, it'll be after the holidays, so probably January 2024 at the earliest. And you'll be it may not even be called the Switch, but it'll be the Nintendo Next or something.
Yeah, but you're agreeing then with us that they have the full plan.
Nintendo's had a plan for a while.
Yeah.
They just probably haven't executed because of how successful the Switch has been. And the only way that they announce in 2023 is if sales in June are dead.
I could see them announcing in the holidays though.
I think you announce after the holidays because you want to get one last holiday push.
When did they officially announce the Switch?
The Wii U is dead and gone by the time they announced.
No.
What
time of year?
It might have been. It was either December or January.
Right. They did it to capitalize on like holiday pre-orders and stuff. Like
because it launched in March. There was no pre-orders in December.
Were there no pre-orders?
No, they pre-ordered. It was like launch day, March. It was like March something. And they might have had pre-orders a week before at most.
Okay. I can't remember. It's been so long, man.
October?
Yeah. Oh, they might have announced it in October, but it was like the NX. There was no reveal until I think January. I'm gonna look this up now.
I mean, regardless, the next system's gonna fail. So
that's on Nintendo as every other console.
They can't do two in a row.
That's why they can't call it the Switch 2 or they can't call it the Switch anything.
It has to be something, yeah.
Or
it's gonna be like the Click.
The Clip, Nintendo Clip.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be wonderful.
I mean, they could just legit call it the Nintendo Switch Pro, but that'll still be a problem.
Yeah, because then it's just a console upgrade. Not everyone's gonna want it, you know.
Right, just like the Wii U was an upgrade to the Wii, and people didn't realize that it was actually its own thing. It was released on March 3rd, 2017. I'm trying to remember when it was actually announced. It was unveiled on October. He's right. It was unveiled on October. Okay, I guess I didn't remember that.
I mean, I could see them doing something fairly similar, unless they don't think they can pull off the logistics. But then again, do they really care? They've always been okay with it being hard to get their console.
Yeah,
too.
see, they don't want another Wii U, so they're really trying to figure out when the time is. And like with all these people asking when's the next console coming, I was like, yeah, but people still love the Switch.
Mm-hmm. And there's also so many, like it's such a large user base now that they have a couple big games coming out next year. You might as well just launch those games first and then not announce a new console because they might not buy the games where they're making the most money anyway.
Yeah. I think you'll see a lot of forward and backward compatible titles come out at the same time because you don't want to cannibalize the current market share of a new game by putting it on a new console only, just like PS4, PS5.
I did halfway think they were going to launch alongside the new Zelda, but they haven't announced the new Switch yet, so I'm not sure if they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that they'll probably continue their NVIDIA Tegra partnership because that's worked out really well for this last gen. I think that Nintendo announcing too early cannibalizes their current base, and announcing too late is also bad. So you have to do it just like it has to be after the holidays with enough time for people to get ready their wallets. You don't want people waiting through the holidays to spend their money.
I guess I could see it. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter when. They could announce it during the holidays, and they could just as easily just say that it's coming out in the spring because that's more than enough time for people to rebalance their checkbooks in time to buy it. It also builds excitement.
If they see like a market where people are still buying the games but not the systems, and then they just say, "Hey, every game that comes out in 2023 will be forward compatible with the new system, along with the entire Switch library." That'll at least prevent people from not buying it.
I think what Sony did when they came out with the PS5 was a good idea, of where you made it where the game could be transferred over. I thought that was a good concept.
Yeah, but that was it's a very difficult thing to do.
I understand that.
A couple of my friends have tried that and have had very mixed results with that. Like, for example, some games don't transfer.
No, it literally had to say that it was the one that would. But moving on from Nintendo to Sony.
All right, let's do it.
Do you think they stop with supporting the PS4
in 2023?
Yes. Do you think the first main next gen title that's solely next gen comes out?
I mean, Spider-Man's supposed to be that game.
Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah.
And
I hope not, because I really want it on the PS4, so I don't want to predict against that. No, Sony.
I think it has to happen. It's been too long. It's been too long. I feel like there's got to be a developer out there who's been making a game geared purely to the PS5.
The Last of Us 3.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, Xbox is doing it for the first time next year, so Starfield is going to only be on the Series X. Right? Yeah.
And so the Series S. Come on, bro. Don't forget that little brother.
The Series consoles is a stupid naming convention.
It's the worst naming convention ever.
I have to say, I think that this year is the last year. This upcoming year is the last year for PS4 support with new titles.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just hope that Spider-Man 2 is on it.
And
that means the PS4 lasted a decade. That does mean that.
But I think you'll get a lot of announcements for titles that they've been working on. Like they'll actually start rolling out the first party exclusives that we all would expect Sony to have brought out by now, and probably from some developers that have been staying quiet.
No, you get the Last of Us 2 remaster. Come on.
Hey, honestly, sure.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're going to actually have some good announcements this year for Sony, especially if they do plan on breaking from the PS4 support.
I also wonder if the PS3, the PS Vita, and the Xbox 360 will finally have their markets shut down or not.
Probably.
Because Nintendo killed, like the Wii U and the 3DS are totally done in 2023. 100% all done. The Vita has still clung on. Like I was recently just bought some new games on the Vita, that are still getting updates, actually. And the PS3 as well. The PS3 still has people that you can still buy games. PS2 games that aren't even available on the PS5, you can still get on the PS3. So I'm curious what Sony's going to do with the Vita and the PS3 next year. Will they finally
remember that they made those consoles? Shut them down.
That's the only reason they haven't shut them down.
Yeah.
They purposely blocked out the idea of the Vita because of how terrible it was designed.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest portable of all time.
No, you need an attachment device.
I don't use an attachment anymore, Andrew. I play it the way it is. I play it the way they made it.
All natural.
All natural.
Where's the Switch? I'm still using my Hori SplitPad Pro because I absolutely hate the Switch Joy-Cons. They will sell real NFT consoles instead of real consoles.
Why did you add real in there?
I misread it. Skylanders not fun time for the PS5. Wait, doesn't Activision own Skylanders?
They do.
Yeah, they do because they did Spyro. Yeah. I predict Microsoft's going to have their own version of the Amiibo Skylanders next year.
I mean, when
Toys
this actually goes through,
Master Chief Toys to Life. Infinite's going to have Master Chief Toys to Life.
Shut up, Chris. I don't want that to happen. But they will actually own not Spyro
and Crash.
Yeah, well, I guess Spyro and Crash. Yeah, so they're gonna have their kid games finally that they've been wanting forever.
They got Super Lucky still. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. As far as Sony goes, I think they will announce the new PS5 next year. I don't know if it'll be called the Slim or whatever, but it'll have a peripheral Blu-ray drive that's detachable, so you can. Which is one of the main issues with the PS4, if you didn't know, is they married the Blu-ray drives to the motherboard. Where like if you wanted to replace it, you basically have to have a Sony like key of some sort to marry a new Blu-ray to your old PS4. Otherwise, it just won't flat out work. Which is annoying because you can't have a digital. So Sony did the stupidest thing ever for verification when they switched off the CMOS battery situation. They basically tied your verification to your Blu-ray drive for DRM purposes because it stores like in the firmware of the chip of the Blu-ray drive the DRM files. And when they did that, if your Blu-ray drive no longer works, your PS4 is bricked. So 120 million ticking time bombs of PS4 Blu-ray drives. So with the PS5 having a detachable Blu-ray drive is super smart because you can replace it and it's an extra like.
Right,
I'm assuming it's gonna be $100. It could happen. It could happen to mine any day now.
So, Chris, with that PS5 though, don't you like? I'm curious what it's going to look like. Personally, I think they should make the Blu-ray player this like stand for the console just to
dock it in there.
It's gonna look like a piece of crap, like that PS3 revision that like has a slide top.
Oh, that one was so bad. Yeah, but like honestly, instead of that black stand that they sent with it, if you just made the disc, the Blu-ray player, a stand, I think that might look much better.
I think it's going to look exactly like the existing PS5 or really close to it. And all you'll do is replace the side panel with a Blu-ray drive panel, and that'll be it. I think that's all it's going to be.
They're just going to send you a Blu-ray player with some duct tape and just going to duct tape it to the console.
Well, I mean, if you look at what the digital edition looks like now, it looks like what they probably plan on making. And then the Blu-ray drive was clearly an extra thing. So I think with the next thing, all they'll have is they'll sell you essentially the digital edition, probably a slimmer version, but the digital edition with just two panels. And underneath one side panel, there'll be a clip-in spot for the Blu-ray player. Take that panel off, put the Blu-ray player panel on, boom, done.
See, I think they need to just make it where you can like put it on like vertical, and then like vertical like this with the PlayStation like this, so it looks like a Star Wars spaceship. That's what they
need to just put a USB cable between your PS3 and your PS5, and you just put the Blu-rays in the PS3. Good to go. No, I do think that Nintendo, sure, why not? But I do think that Sony and Microsoft missed an extra market of peripherals with Blu-ray drives that they could have had right off the get-go.
That's fair. Yeah.
make extra money selling Blu-ray drives at $100 a pop when they really cost like $20 to produce.
Mm-hmm.
Huge market there.
I mean,
I think the Series
burned on
S,
that idea already, so maybe they just don't want to.
Yeah, but that wasn't so like the digital market wasn't there yet. So like that was a stupid choice. The PS5 Slim is a good Blu-ray player where you can watch Last of Us cutscenes on repeat. So does the PS5 Slim get announced, or is the PS5 Slim not getting announced because of this Blu-ray add-on version?
I think both will be announced at the same time. I think it's also mainly to combat supply chain problems.
Probably. Because if
maybe the Slim just won't have those weird fans and make it look like a modem.
I just, that's what I see, right? I see it as supply chain issues have been the main thing holding back the PS5 from selling, as like they could sell so many more consoles if they actually didn't have those supply chain problems, I think. So
yeah, if you can sell one model and that's it, and you're not producing a digital and a Blu-ray version, and then you have an add-on, then you have two different production lines. You got the add-on line, and that's just a Blu-ray player with a PS5 shell on it. And then you've got the PS5 being one console across the board. You're not producing two different consoles that have two different selling rates.
And you don't have unhappy customers who are trying to get the disc version but can't seem to find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the one that's harder for them to get produced versus the digital only.
Then the next question is, do they produce a backwards compatible drive that you can plug into your Slim or not?
Probably, honestly.
Yes, I don't know.
It probably
I feel like they should.
And then the next question is, will Xbox respond with an Xbox Series S disc drive that you can
No.
They might.
They'll respond by making Game Pass free for an extra month, and then.
Okay, next prediction here. Next prediction here. Computers. How much more of the computer market will PlayStation try to bite into, and how much better will Game Pass get to compete with Steam? Or will they just put Game Pass on Steam?
I'm just going to put it on there. I don't know why.
No.
They have all of the Xbox games come out on Steam anyway.
Right, but Steam makes money off people not getting Game Pass and buying the games. So how much of a cut does Steam have to take in order for that to make sense?
They won't do it. Why would you do that when you can just have an app down? You just download an app for Game Pass.
People don't like Game Pass. The Xbox app sucks. Let's just face it. The PC version of Xbox Game Pass and the Xbox app on PC sucks. It's the worst rendition of Xbox ever built.
When they just include it with your Microsoft Office 360, you're not going to have a choice.
I've uninstalled the Xbox apps on this PC so many times because of how broken they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they said that they're not going to take any, or at least Call of Duty. They're going to keep all Call of Duties on Steam for the next 10 years. So they're not looking at Steam as a competitor. They're just going to.
But they are.
Dump their games.
I mean, they are legitimately competitors.
Not for Microsoft. They don't view it that way.
They don't need to sell Game Pass on Steam. They gain nothing by doing that, but losing, they just lose.
I mean, they don't. I mean, they do and they don't. So because EA Play obviously found it monetarily making sense. So honestly, I like having all my games in one library. So for the Steam users that have all their games in one library, if you want access to Game Pass games, you're not going to like having two launchers. I mean, Epic Games found out the hard way. People don't like having two launchers. If you could have your Game Pass games available.
Epic Games lost out because no one wanted their damn spyware. and people didn't like their
This is not what I'm saying.
And no one didn't like the way they were trying to buy developers. Okay? People just didn't like their behavior. That had way more to do with it than the second launcher.
Mm-hmm.
If I was under that opinion, I wouldn't own a gaming PC and a PlayStation and a Switch because I wouldn't want my game library spread out among 3 different devices.
I mean, there are some games that I'd rather play on PC and some
but
I'd rather
I
play on
own
console.
those three different devices to play games. If I had a problem with a second launcher, I wouldn't. That's so petty. I wouldn't own multiple consoles. Okay, I'm just saying.
You keep being petty. I'll keep being
I'm not being petty. I'm honestly saying I don't think you're being silly if you have that much of a problem with 2 different game libraries from 2
I
different.
will never download another launcher. The fact that Mass Effect Legendary Edition requires me to download the stupid Origin launcher still pisses
I
me
hate
off.
Origin's launcher. Don't get me wrong, but still.
There is rumors of a Steam Deck Slim that Valve is working on, by the way. It's got a thinner middle part, and it's got a thinner middle part that makes it more ergonomic.
Hey, Chris, the public agrees with me. You're being paid.
I'll never download your launcher, Epic, ever.
No, you shouldn't download Epic. Okay,
I
that's legit. Don't download TikTok either. It's all spyware. Okay?
Hey, TikTok's getting banned. It's legitimately getting banned.
Well, it should because it's the most invasive crap on the planet. So.
Well, you should tell your story about what happens when people get TikTok at prom.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Did you chaperone a prom once?
Oh gosh, yeah, but that wasn't just TikTok. It was the social media in general. They literally didn't dance and they looked at their phones. It was so freaking weird.
Oh my god!
They're just
I
like
don't
this,
remember
and
ever
the music
taking my
was
phone
playing.
out at a
Oh,
dance.
so weird.
I don't remember
We're
ever
also
taking my
old.
phone out at a dance.
Chris, we only had flip phones. What are you talking about?
Smartphones were out when we were in high school. It's just not many people had
I
them.
guess. Okay, fine. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so.
If I saw I saw more than one iPhone when I was in high school. Let's put it that way.
No, I did too. Later, it just wasn't. Most kids didn't have a smartphone until it was like senior year.
I knew somebody had the original Android phone in high school.
Yeah, okay, I know that too.
That thing was so trash.
Okay, where I grew up, there was like maybe 2 kids who had a cell phone by sophomore year. So
Yeah, every once in a while they would take a selfie and pretend like they were dancing, and then they would stop and then go back and look at their phones.
oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Yeah,
it is a sad life that they live. Gen Z is a sad generation.
And what's even crazier is they weren't playing like any like modern songs. It was like all early 2000s songs. So I knew every single one of them.
That's because most of the modern songs kind of suck for dances. I don't know.
Oh, they suck in general. They're terrible.
Yeah, why? Who's gonna go dance to anything but Flow Rider saying "Get Low"?
Flow Rider.
Yeah.
They
Flow
play
Rider.
They also
Rider,
like Britney
okay.
Spears and stuff. Is like what?
Yeah,
What's happening?
Will's like listening. He hears the taste of your lips. Da, 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 da. He's like, what?
You know, Will probably wanted to dance way more than any of those kids. So
Yeah,
I'll own that quote. I'll own that quote.
yeah. Well, yeah.
no, they're the lost generation.
They're
We're the
lost in a
sad
different
ones because
way.
we have to watch them.
They're lost because they've been put into just digital isolation.
Technically, half of my kids were born in Gen Z.
Yeah, well, don't let them have a phone. All right,
Yeah, back to the subject.
They get classic iPods.
back to the actual subject.
Oh, so back to the competition thing though. Like as I was saying, they don't view Steam as a competition.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer actually said this like 6 years ago now. He named Amazon and Google as his competition. He's already
probably
killed
Apple.
Google.
Why does
Probably
he view
Apple,
them as
too.
competition? Well,
Because
why?
of streaming. Yeah.
Because of streaming, because of
Mhm.
cloud gaming, cloud services. So guess what their focus is? Chris, take it away.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, fine.
Microsoft
Fine.
has no
I'm
focus.
not okay. I just want to point out that I am just trying to be a realist on this. I do not like the cloud gaming pathway that they are taking.
Hey, just for the record, I think we're going to be launching our CHRILLCAST in next year. I think that's happening.
I have lots of complaints.
Lots of complaints.
We need a boomer version of the CHRILLCAST. Oh, man. Anyways, so getting back to that, okay, if Steam's not Microsoft's competition, then why don't they put Fable 2 on Steam? Come on, guys.
Because they need some reason to get people to buy Game Pass.
That's the one reason. Fable 2.
Actually, Fable 2 is famously supposed to be ported to PC. It never happened.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. It's because it wasn't already ported and they don't want to work on it.
Here's an interesting question.
Boomercast.
Since we're looking at the competition,
That probably exists. There probably is Boomercast.
who do you guys think is the most likely to try to jump into the arena to compete for gaming?
I think that the biggest thing we haven't talked about yet is already out there. It's Evercade. Evercade is for people that like cartridges and retro games. And you get like 20 games a cartridge for like $20.
I mean, it's a great value, but it's very niche.
that
There's no way.
But they're successful. They
Yeah.
already exist.
Yeah,
Well, they
but
have their
that's not.
niche.
We're talking about someone who's trying to steal market share.
They are slowly but surely. They are building market share. Like every year, I think, you know what? Maybe I'll get an Evercade this year.
No, but you're not going to say
And then
I'll
you
buy
don't.
an Evercade and not buy an Xbox.
Yeah. What's their market share like right now? Like 0.003?
It's small, but it's sustainable. That's the difference.
I'm not hating on them. It's a great company. I like their product.
Let me hear you. Let me tell you what I'm saying here.
No.
When Steam launched the Steam Deck, they knew that they did not need to eat into Nintendo's market share to be successful. They just needed another platform to sell more games. Evercade is doing that exact same thing.
I think you're missing the point of the question.
Yeah, you're slightly missing the point. I was going to say Apple because
Apple probably, yeah.
Because I see Apple Arcade being dramatically expanded.
That's why I said Apple's actually competing right now.
Yes, and I would say people are sleeping on what they can do with Apple TV.
I'm not.
No, you're
I love
not.
the Apple
I'm
TV.
saying a lot of people are sleeping on the Apple TV.
They already have thousands of games that could easily be ported.
I know. Okay, this is the thing. I went to Apple Store over Black Friday. I was very surprised when I was looking at the Apple TV game, what they were showing about the Apple Arcade and the games that they had on it. I was impressed because it's like, okay, this is the streaming device that most companies would want to sell. And I feel like Apple can get away with selling a quality device at at that market premium that Microsoft has said was too expensive to sell when they already made an Xbox. So it's like, I feel like Apple can be like Mr. Steal Your Girl and come into that exact marketplace on Microsoft. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they're just looking at it like we already have these Apple TVs in people's living rooms.
Yeah.
And if we add gaming to it, like boom, you just like people who are going to buy a Series S just might not now.
And a lot of people buy the Apple TV for all the other things because Apple TV,
Ask me how many Apple TVs I have.
Actual TV, the actual Apple TV, like original pro TV shows and stuff are not bad.
No, they're not. Honestly,
They're not.
The Apple One subscription at $15 gives you music, TV, and gaming.
Yeah. So it's like I could see them becoming a much bigger player. Especially given how many people want to develop for them just because of their market share.
Yeah. But do you know what game famously is not on the Apple TV? Take your guess.
Fable 2.
No. Minecraft. They actually had to pull it because there wasn't enough people playing it or buying it. They just pulled the app entirely. And they have never put it back on the Apple TV.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the biggest deal. It
is. Minecraft's on everything. Here, but seriously, ask me how many Apple TVs I have. It's the most convenient streaming device ever made.
I have 0.
You have 3. Did I guess it right?
You did. I have 3 plus a new one coming.
No, but like, okay, the only competitor to this, right, is
Fire TV.
Fire TV. So
because Google failed with the Chromecast.
Yeah.
To try and build a market.
Amazon is kind of chomping at the bit too. I think it's between those two coming in.
The difference between what Amazon's doing and what Apple's doing is there's a capable processor on board the Apple TV, an extremely capable processor. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that I think Amazon's going to be as successful because especially since Apple already has such a stronghold on people who are developers of games. So it's like,
plus you can build once and it works on iPad and Apple TV together.
Yeah.
A lot of apps that are on, so like for example, I have the Jackbox Party Pack on Apple TV. It also just automatically ports to the iPad. So you get to buy it once, get it on 2 platforms, portable and home console. They got the Switch Beat already.
Yeah.
No, I mean not really, but you could easily convert that market share.
No, I mean if they made the quality games there, it's I don't know. You might honestly have Nintendo beat on the people who aren't out for the Nintendo
IP.
first. Yeah, Like,
Apple's probably more likely to eat into the market share of Nintendo than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's also extremely that's the ultimate impulse buy. I'm not gonna lie. Like that actually I think has a stronger impulse buy concept than
The iPad or the Apple TV?
All Apple products, because
Yes.
no, honestly, all
You're right.
Apple products I do think have a stronger impulse buy, because every parent can justify that device for themselves and how they can then hand it off to their kid. I think that's the thing. That's the big thing, right?
I mean, if they have a big push like this, it will kill digital media, or I mean, physical media, because it's going to be all digital and it's all cloud.
Especially think of how kid friendly those arcade app games are.
Yeah, they are. A lot of them are.
Right?
Anyway.
Like even more kid friendly than Nintendo.
Apple curates hard.
Yes. And when you look at the Apple TV is priced fairly well to be an impulse buy. But like the iPad, it doesn't take much to convince a parent to buy an iPad.
It doesn't,
because they see how they can use it, and then they can like hand it to their kid when they start to cry. Like and what you said about the subscription model, $15 and you get everything, right?
I think this describes what you just said, Andrew.
No, it is. And I was talking about 15-year-olds crying,
Yeah,
so it wasn't
right.
even.
Hey, listen, one of my cousins, I'm not going to call them out here, but one of my cousins walked out of a wedding because their phone died and they couldn't entertain their child.
Yeah, too many people have used a cell phone as a pacifier.
Yes.
Yep.
But the
best part is we had our kids sitting at the table with us, and he's like, "You know how it is. The phone's dead." I'm like, "My kids aren't watching a phone. Like, they're fine."
Especially when you have the subscription at $15, getting them Apple Music, as well as being like, okay, there's the games that my kid can play.
I wonder how much of a metric Apple could actually take away from Game Pass if they just said, "Hey, look, this is the same stuff, except you get more."
I think they could take a lot.
Mm-hmm. It might even be $20, but even at $5 more than Game Pass, you're still getting music, TV shows, and games.
Yeah, I think you could take a lot.
I'm gonna look up what Apple One concludes now because I'm curious. I think it's like
it's everything.
It's
everything.
I mean, Microsoft just buys Spotify, and then
it's already owned by Google.
It's very expensive. No, Spotify is not owned by Google.
I thought it was.
No, Spotify bought Anchor. Spotify is still independent. I think they're Swedish or Switzerland, one or the other.
I thought Alphabet actually owns a large share of Spotify now.
No, I mean maybe a share, but they're not. They're still their own company.
I know they're independent on the stock market, but I'm pretty sure Alphabet.
No. Owned by 6 parties. The firm's co-founders. The co-founders apparently own 65%. That's pretty good for how big Spotify is.
Mm-hmm.
Sweden. I was right. It is Sweden. 456 million active users. That's crazy. And almost 200 million paying subscribers.
What Spotify's struggling with, though, right?
Advertising?
No, they want to do audiobooks, but because of the way Apple does their thing, they're not able to make the amount of money.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But Apple One, I'm curious what that costs now because we talked about this. Let me see. Apple One. It is not listed. They don't want to tell you.
I do think it includes almost everything, pretty much everything.
Oh, here, bundled service. Apple One, bundled services. See what it says. Apple One is for an individual, it's $17 a month. For a family, it's $23 a month, and then whatever Premiere is, it's $33 a month. I don't know what Premiere is. But it includes Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Apple Fitness, Apple News, and iCloud storage. That's not bad.
Honestly, that is a fantastic deal. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Because individually, Apple Music's $11 a month individually, yeah. Apple TV's $7 a month individually, Arcade's $5 a month individually, iCloud storage is 99 cents apparently. And then the total cost there for just that is $24 if you don't do Apple One. If you do Apple One, you're saving $8. That's not bad.
Dude, I'm just saying, honestly, I think Apple is underrated currently in the market.
And that's only $2 more than Microsoft's Game Pass, and you get so much more with it.
And it's easier. It's not even that you get so much more. It's you get so much more that it's like for the right people in the household to justify it to the person who actually has the wallet.
Especially when Netflix is $15 a month for the base plan.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna do ad-based things now.
They already have Netflix ad-based.
Yeah.
So I think that's $7 or $8. All right. Well, anyways, I think we've. Is there anything else we need to mention? I will say, if you're into retro gaming, Evercade, check it out. It's a niche product, but it's a niche for you if you like retro.
Well, okay. Any predictions on games? Like I'll say it, I think Hogwarts Legacy is going to be game of the year, hands down.
Probably, unless J.K. Rowling has something to do with it.
No,
I'm just kidding. I also think that Halo Infinite will see a little bit of a boost, but it will not hit the hype of what it was at when it launched.
Here's a question: do we get an announcement of a release date for
Halo Battle Royale?
No, the next Elder Scrolls.
No, because they don't want to. They don't want to cannibalize Starfield.
When does Starfield come out?
I think they will at the end of the year because Starfield comes out and they haven't announced the official date yet, but
I thought Starfield's supposed to release. So
when Starfield releases, like a couple months after that, you might hear when Skyrim's coming out.
Yeah, I'm expecting an announcement this year then.
You know why? Because Starfield, they're like putting way too much on that freaking game now, and it's not going to be for everybody. So everyone's going to say this they're probably going to say that the game's a failure.
Yes.
How about Fable 4?
If that freaking is not announced more and with some gameplay, I will be so pissed.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this though, Will, going back real quick to Starfield. I do think it's gonna be considered a failure. I really do. And for all the reasons that when we talked about it back when they first announced it, every concern I ever had for it still stands to this day. Like I called bullshit on it with the way they
Skyrim and Fallout in space.
No, but it's barren wasteland in space. It's not what people actually want out of a space game.
And they don't have Hideo Kojima, doing Death Stranding, so you can't sell a barren.
They announced another one of those games. I was super surprised.
It did sell really well because it's got Hideo Kojima attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy from Walking Dead that I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Daryl or whatever.
Yeah,
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. That guy's awesome.
But yeah, with it being considered a failure, because I agree that it will probably be considered that they'll be 100% wanting to announce Skyrim, the next Elder Scrolls.
It's probably still going to sell. Well, it's weird because on Game Pass, but I think it'll still sell like between 2 to 4 million copies.
Oh, probably.
It's going to.
It's not going to be well received.
Be mixed. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be not well received.
Definitely not Game of the Year material. Like, let's just be honest.
No, probably.
And Redfall is unfortunate because it's probably going to be a really interesting arcane game because like all the arcane games are interesting, but it's going to be a critical darling and no one's going to buy it.
Probably.
Like every other arcane
I'm still annoyed that they did not choose to go with the Wood Elf region, with the cities that are in the trees that can move. That would have been much cooler of a concept.
You want the trees from Lord of the Rings, huh?
No, like the cities could move, I thought. If I remember the lore correctly, like the cities legitimately move. But I would have been happy if they picked anywhere that was, or where the Khajiit are. I don't know. It would have been, I feel like you could have picked cooler locations, but.
What game are you looking forward to the most next year besides Hogwarts Legacy, Andrew? Is there anything else that's caught your attention at all? Because 2023 feels pretty dry for me unless a few things get announced. Like unless they're announcing a new Infamous, then I'd be all over that.
That's the thing. I agree completely. Like they need to announce something more.
I don't see anything yet that's caught my eye. Like Metroid Prime 4, I'd be all over that.
Each system only has like 1 or 2 big games coming out. So
I feel like E3. I feel like we're waiting on E3 for
E3 doesn't exist anymore.
I know, but
it's coming back supposedly.
Supposedly, okay.
I just feel like we're waiting for them to make some announcements before we can. Like, they've held off on announcements. It feels like. So I think we'll be excited for games again on it the second they actually start announcing all the games that are PS5 only. I think that that's the reason there's been that like lull in excitement, just because they've been holding off the titles that would excite us.
Maybe.
I'm excited for Spider-Man.
They're not going to announce another Infamous.
No, they won't. I don't think Infamous is coming at all unless they have Blue Point do a remake. And it's the only way you get an Infamous game.
I'd be okay with a remake.
I would be too. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to get one unless it's Blue Point, because that's Sony's remake studio, kind of like Saber Interactive was doing a lot of Halo and stuff like that, remakes.
I don't. Do you see any IPs? This isn't just Sony. Like IPs that a company has killed come back.
Tomb Raider.
Like,
I think with Amazon publishing it, it'll probably be a marketing.
I don't think they killed it. That was always the expectation.
I know. Okay, here's a game that I'm excited for. If I don't think there's an announcement yet for the release.
Oh, Pikmin 4 is coming. That'll be cool.
Or the next Dragon Age game.
Oh yeah, that isn't dead. In the Mass Effect game that's supposedly coming too.
Yeah, so that's a game I'm excited for. Is the next. I don't know if it's coming out next year. I'm assuming. Could be wrong. But like, could you guys ever see EA? We've talked about it before. Could you see them actually bringing back anything that they've?
Titanfall 3.
I could see it.
I could see that happening in 2023.
That would be freaking awesome. I'd be so excited.
I would be okay
what if
with
Valve
Mercenaries in Ukraine game, but that would be fun.
What if Valve gets on it and like Portal 3 and Half-Life 3 are both announced? That would break the internet.
It would.
I don't think they're going to announce on the Titanfall though, because I think Respawn's working like 4 games at the moment.
So
EA doesn't.
What if Dice says Titanfall 3?
I won't buy it. Dice is fine, but they have been ruining IPs lately.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one out there. Battlefield Bad Company 3.
That's possible.
Announced, not released, obviously.
I'm trying to think of vision. Oh, KOTOR. I wonder if that'll make a comeback finally, because the project was dead, and then they said no, they handed off to another studio, so maybe it is still happening. I don't know.
Also,
KOTOR is supposed to be next gen.
I have no idea why you bought on Battlefield Bad Company 3, because I'm kind of saying that sarcastically out of hope.
I think that could actually happen. I mean, let's be honest.
They repeatedly say they don't know why anyone liked it.
Exactly. EA knows that it makes money, so they could just print money and make a Bad Company 3.
Will it be good?
I think Red Dead 3 could be announced.
I don't think so. It feels too.
Or they could do a remake of Red Dead
GTA, a new
Revolver.
GTA.
They could remake Red Dead Revolver, the original. That could be a thing.
I could see a new Grand Theft Auto.
That's gonna happen. We just don't.
I mean, that should be coming. That should be announced next year, like officially.
Yeah, that's honestly that would be exciting.
I don't care about Grand Theft Auto. I'll be honest. I just don't care.
Sure, you don't.
I've never like really been into Grand Theft Auto. Like I played it on PSP and that's about it.
That's fair.
Bully 2, that would be cool.
Ooh.
Does he get a day job? He's like a angry millennial in a day job now.
Just a school shooter game.
No. We're not going down that route.
Okay, fine.
On that note, we should end.
Actually, no. Bully 2 would just be people cyberbullying each other. It might be the most boring game ever made.
But of course, because everybody making this game would be a boomer, it'd be MySpace instead of Facebook. Check out my song and my top 8 friends. God, I miss MySpace. Okay,
they should bring back the top 8 friends.
They should. That'd be hilarious. Facebook
had that for strife again in society.
You used to be able to select which friends showed up on your page on Facebook in the beginning.
Yeah.
Anyways, Will doesn't have Facebook, so there's that. Don't try and find him, people. He's not there.
Have one, so there's something there. Then that's surprising.
He's like, there's like some account pretending to be Will. It's been existing for like 5 years, and he doesn't know it.
Yeah, it's a fan account.
Who do you think will be the biggest? Do you think there's going to be another big acquisition down the pipe?
Nintendo and Sega, maybe. I've been thinking it's weird that Nintendo has not
buy EA.
No,
Ubisoft. Does anyone buy Ubisoft?
Maybe
besides Amazon or
I
Netflix.
I think Apple could buy Ubisoft because they're actually building a mobile version of the next Assassin's Creed, like full blown Assassin's Creed on mobile.
Honestly, I still think that whoever buys Ubisoft is doing it more so to get the content for TV shows.
I think Apple TV would love to do an Assassin's Creed TV show.
Yeah, but I don't think Amazon allows them to buy Tom Clancy IP.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't
Dude.
matter. Tom Clancy's not even fully owned by Ubisoft anyways.
I know but Amazon already does the Tom Clancy.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't think they're gonna buy it. But on that note, I think Ubisoft would make sense for Apple to buy. They produced the Assassin's Creed, put it on Apple Arcade. Boom, you got a AAA title on Apple Arcade that plays on Apple TV, iPad, and iPhone.
Oh, I think they would do great with the TV show.
They probably do pretty well. Ted Lasso did well. It's always in the top 10 ratings for views, which is pretty amazing considering Apple just started at their Apple TV.
And honestly, Ubisoft did that one, or did they do 2 games? They might have done 2 games for mobile. Remember for the Vita, they had that one game that was pretty good. Was it Liberation or something?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Liberation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if you've played that on the Vita. It was pretty good.
I have it. It lags in places, but it's a full blown console game on the Vita, which is pretty hard to do.
Yeah, so it's like I could see Apple if they wanted that, like you said, that AAA title. I could see them taking something.
Yeah, imagine you say Apple Arcade now comes with Assassin's Creed. Like that's an easy sell. All right, so here's what I want to do. This is the end of the year for the CHRILLCAST. We're gonna come back. Let's see. So we won't be doing it next week. So the 28th, I doubt it. There's a chance, but I doubt it. Maybe we'll stream a gameplay session next week, but we're not going to do another podcast next week. This is the last one you get for the year. We'll probably be coming back. I'm going to put a poll up, though, because I'm curious if people like this Wednesday night versus Saturday night.
We had an odd amount of people tune into the stream, it seemed like. So
I'm wondering if maybe Wednesdays is better because people are tuning into Spawncast because who knows why, but they tune into Spawncast instead of us. But if that's something you're interested in, maybe we'll move it to Wednesdays or Thursdays. We'll see. I prefer Wednesdays, but that's just me. And is there anything else you guys want to say to the CHRILLCAST family here before we end 2022 with a bang?
Everyone collectively pray for some Fable 4 footage.
Footage, not a reveal.
Just footage. Will's desperate. Okay,
I am very desperate.
Okay,
I'll go for a logo at this point, like the official logo.
He'll even frame it and put it next to his bedside table. Yes. I just want to, reiterate, I'm not a fan of cloud gaming. I was simply being devil's advocate and a realist about the direction that Microsoft is going. Chris likes to claim otherwise. Basically, I'm defending it. I don't know how.
Okay, Andrew xCloud.
But no, we should definitely do the gameplay stream of something. We've had
next week we'll
ideas.
do a gameplay stream or something.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do a podcast, so we're not going to prep anything.
No. We just got to convince the other people that we want to play a certain game with to play it.
He's still trying to convince Will and me that we're playing Crusader Kings, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I still got to finish my Walking Dead gameplay.
Dude.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I got 125 views out of nowhere. I was like, wow, who's watching this? Anyways, Vita forever. That's all I got to say. And thank you for tuning in to the CHRILLCAST in 2022. Hopefully, y'all still be there in 2023 when we come back.
Yes.
See you then.
Don't die.
What?
All right. Y'all stay classy, San Diego.
Oh my god.
I'm not going to say the FU San Diego thing that the anchorman says, but as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Andrew.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.
Bye, guys.